So I came across this clip from Censored Truths on TikTok. So if you guys want to give him a follow, definitely go and follow him. But what he's saying here is absolutely on point. It is something that I have been saying for quite a while now. And I'm happy that somebody else is saying it because it is absolutely mind-blowing what this Democrat Party has attempted to do over the past, I don't know, nearly 10 years, it seems, right? So with that being said, let's jump into it. And of course, as always, let me know your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section and smack that like button. All right, let's jump into it.
Everybody should be able to see it by now. America's been getting scammed for years. And then a self-made billionaire who will put an end to those scams decides to run for president. That's when the scammers tell us that he's working with Russia. And when that failed, they said he was a dictator who would never leave office. And then when he left office, they said he was a racist. And when that failed, they try to claim he was a sexist.
It's just one thing after another thing after another thing. And then once the last thing has been disproved, it's just swept under the rug and something new is thrown out into the stratosphere. And right now we have the whole Epstein, right? Ooh, Trump's in the Epstein files. See, look, Trump doesn't want the Epstein files released. And it's like, come on now, stop it with the nonsense. Stop it. Trump called the Epstein files a hoax. See, he's in it. He's in it. And it's like, come on, man, really? You guys literally did everything under the sun. You tried to end this man's life, throw him under the jail. Forget just in prison. You guys tried to throw him under the jail. Basically giving him a life sentence at his age. Through court case after court case after court case. Changed the law in New York. Changed the statute of limitations just so a case could come up, right? I know they say that that's not what they did, but if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. I mean, literally, they did everything. I mean, constant smears, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad. That's all they say on mainstream media. I mean, literally, the guy could come up with the cure to cancer and they would still find a way to take a dump on it. And now you want us to believe that Trump is in the Epstein files when you guys had them for the past 4 years? You really want me to believe that the Biden and Kamala Harris administration had the Epstein files and allegedly knew Trump was in it, had Trump in it, and it didn't get released or leaked? Or y'all didn't make up a bunch of hoopla about it? Ooh, hey, Biden administration, Kamala administration, y'all got to release the Epstein files. We got to get Trump. Really? Now all of a sudden you care so much about the Epstein files and Trump being in them? Come on now. It's just another hoax. It's just another hoax. But part of me is happy that they're kind of doing it because, like I said before, and I think I showed you guys a couple of videos in the past, it's waking people up. It's waking people up because time after time after time of you lying, people are like, hold on, wait a minute. You lied about that. You lied about that. You lied about this. What else have you been lying about? Let me go back and do my research. You see what I'm saying? So they're lying so much that it's waking people up. But let's keep going.
And when that failed, they said he was a fascist. And then when that failed, the same people that have been scamming us for years turned around and tried to use the legal system to prevent him from taking office again. They tried to take him off of the ballots in multiple states. And then they fabricated a bunch of charges to try to put him in prison for the rest of his life.
I forgot about the trying to take him off the ballot situation. That is absolutely wild. For those of you that have been blessed to be on this earth longer than I am, when's the last time you've seen that? Yeah, your nominee, we're going to take him off of the ballot in our state. When have you guys ever seen that? If Trump is really, like, to me, the fact that they're going after him so strongly, right, tells me that we have the right guy. We have the right guy. 100%. At least to me, but y'all can let me know how you feel about it in the comments.
And then, as all of their cases failed one by one, with the exception of mislabeling financial records, somebody tried to take his life multiple times. And then after all of that failed and he actually became president again, now they're trying to claim that he's part of the Epstein list while he's exposing the scammers left and right. And now the scammers are the ones pretending to be the victim. You got Gavin Newsom's employee busted for $5 million in unemployment fraud. You got Eric Swalwell, Adam Schiff, and Letitia James all being investigated for mortgage fraud. You got the Somalian population under Tim Walz stealing over $1 billion worth of fraud and then sending it back to terrorists overseas. You got other people in Minnesota getting charged for election fraud. And now that Trump and the Republicans have shut down USAID, you have companies like PBS News Network out begging the population for money because their funding was cut off. So let's face the facts. If Trump was really a bad guy, they wouldn't have to go out of their way to make up lies and use those lies to convince you that he's a bad guy. All they would have to do is tell the truth, the same way we do about the Democrats.
Facts.
If Trump was so horrible, they wouldn't have to use false accusations to demonize him. They just let him do what he's going to do, and then they would have grounds for impeachment. Instead, they used false accusations to convince people that he's a horrible person. And if the accusations weren't false, then they would have won by now on more than just the mislabeled payments. I mean, seriously, think about it and just apply a little bit of common sense. They attempted to take this man down dozens of times, and every one of those times failed except 34 mislabeled payments. And even that shit was shady. They took a misdemeanor charge, upgraded it to a felony for the first time ever, and then put him on a gag order while they fucking dragged him through the court system. And then, since there were 34 payments, they give him 34 felonies. That way they could jump on the news and use that headline, knowing that low-level, low-IQ people won't go do the research for themselves. But then when you apply the smallest bit of common sense, you realize, wait a minute, a billionaire probably isn't even out there labeling his payments. It's probably an accountant that he hired. So out of all of the things that they've ever accused him of, the only thing they found him guilty of is an action that was committed by somebody else that he hired. Meanwhile, the Democrats attempt to convince you that they're the good guys while they actively fight against law enforcement to protect illegal immigrants. The Democrats use the legal system to attack Trump when he attempts to send in soldiers to bring down the crime rates in those Democrat areas. The Democrats go out of their way to protect criminals and then investigate the President of the United States. Ask yourself, why would they do that? And then just simply take a look around at all this fraud that's being exposed and you'll have your answer. They were attempting to prevent him from coming in and exposing what the fuck they've been doing. If you disagree, then be my guest. Go ahead and prove me wrong.
You know, all of this stuff is absolutely crazy. Absolutely wild stuff. And, you know, I think of the Bible verse that goes, if the world hates you, remember it hated me first. Because if you were of the world, they would love you. So when you think of that verse and then you think about what is happening to Trump, I mean, it's just a constant barrage. I don't know how he deals with it. I mean, like 99.9% of people just would have threw up their hands and just gave up. You know what? I'm out of here. You guys have it. Like, I'm going to go retire on some island somewhere. Just leave me alone, please. But no, not a chance. Not a chance. I mean, this same man who wakes up and goes to sleep to non-stop negative headlines about himself. Just non-stop. I mean, it's on a rolling loop. I mean, it's just constantly going and going and going and going. The same guy was shot. He didn't run. He didn't cower. He didn't fold. He didn't break. As blood was streaming down his face, he stood up and made sure that his supporters knew to fight on. He didn't know at the time whether or not he was going to survive. I mean, who knows, right? Just because you get shot doesn't mean you die instantly. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, right? Didn't know. Or how severely he was hurt, but he stood up and he said, fight. Which that whole situation is kind of weird too, because if I remember correctly, the Communist News Network, that was the first time they wanted to air one of his rallies, which they hadn't done before, but that one they wanted to air live. Kind of interesting how that works. But anyway, we ain't gonna get into the conspiracy theories today. I'm gonna let y'all do that in the comment section, all right? It's honestly incredible, man, to watch people, some folks, these liberals out here, still buy into this nonsense. After all of the lies that have been uncovered with the whole, you guys remember the whole, what was it? With the cars, the auto industry, the bloodbath hoax. You guys remember that? Where Trump was talking about the auto industry, and he said if they win, it's going to be a bloodbath. And immediately, mainstream media came out and accused Trump of saying that him and all of his supporters were gonna riot in the streets, and it's gonna be a bloodbath if he loses. And it's just like, come on, bro, really? I mean, it's just hoax after hoax after hoax, and debunk after debunk after debunk. I literally had to debunk some of the Epstein files, right? Remember when they redacted Virginia Giuffre's name in the Epstein files to make it seem as if this was like some new situation that the Democrats were uncovering and releasing to the masses, when Virginia Giuffre already spoke under oath that Trump had nothing to do with it? You guys remember that? I literally made a whole video on it. There was another instance where they redacted some chicks' faces that he was standing with, right? Some women's faces, grown women's faces, when the photo was already released. It had already been released, and one of the young ladies even spoke to an outlet and said that, hey, Trump is a gentleman. Trump is a gentleman. But the Democrat Party, all they're focused on is trying to demonize this man. That's all they're focused on doing. That's it. That is all. And even some of the rhinos. And that's why I continually stand up for Uncle Trump, because I don't even know if I could deal with it. I might have just threw up my hands and be like, you know what? I'm getting the F up out of here, yo. This is just ridiculous at this point. I mean, at every turn, I'm fighting with the Democrats and I'm fighting with some of the Republicans. What the is going on? And then I'm getting blamed because I'm not able to accomplish what I promised y'all I was going to accomplish. And it's like, well, it's not my fault. I can only do so much. I can only sign so many executive orders. John Thune's got to get off his lazy behind. Mike Johnson's got to do something. These rhinos have to get out of our party, but y'all have to vote out the rhinos. I can't do that. You know, and me personally, I get frustrated watching it because I see people like, some Republicans, right? Oh, well, Trump ain't doing enough. Trump ain't doing this. Trump hasn't done that. And it's like, well, maybe we need to do our part. Maybe we should stop voting people in like John Thune and the Mitch McConnells of the world. How in the hell did Mitch McConnell last this long? Can anybody explain that one to me? How in the world did Mitch McConnell last this long to the point where he's retiring? He's forced to retire, really. He ain't got no choice. I don't know if y'all have seen any recent videos of Mitch McConnell, but he's barely hanging on, right? How in the world did we allow that to happen? Why hasn't he been voted out? Can anybody please explain that to me? Why are the John Thunes of the world still in the Senate? Why haven't we voted him out? The Lindsey Grahams, the John Cornyn's, why are they still there? Now, granted, some of the data shows that the John Cornyn's and the Lindsey Grahams are about to be voted out now, but where was this years ago? I would love to know, please. The Lisa Murkowski's in Alaska. How in the hell is she continuing to win elections? But then people want to blame Trump, and it's just like, well, he's not a dictator. I know the left likes to try to make it sound and see, no kings. He's not a dictator. Because if he was, he would have done everything that he promised he would do, regardless of what Congress had to say. Hey, F y'all, I'm a dictator. I'm doing what I want, right? But he can't. And so if I'm frustrated watching it, I just try to put myself in his shoes, and I'm like, bro, how has this man not gone off the rail, like cursed somebody out, yelled at somebody something, like just absolutely gone berserk? Seeing this stuff, because I know I would be extremely frustrated. Extremely frustrated. John Thune has done absolutely nothing. Nothing. The Senate's on vacation for what? They haven't done a gosh darn thing. We gave Trump the House and the Senate, and obviously we voted him in as president. We should have just been running through legislation. We should have been running through bills. Can anybody tell me how many big pieces of legislation have been passed through the House and the Senate? Exactly. Not many. Why is that? It's our own darn fault. It's our fault. It's our fault. We got to vote these rhinos out. Because if we had strong America First Republicans in there, things are just floating through. The leader in the Senate, John Thune, has a grade of an F on his Liberty score. Why in the hell is he the leader of the Senate? And why is he still in? An F. An F. In any other occupation, if you're graded, right, and you have an F, you're fired. That means you failed. You failed at your duties. So until we start firing these rhinos, how are we going to blame Uncle Trump for stuff he hasn't accomplished? Because he can only accomplish it through the House and the Senate. I mean, of course, executive orders can be signed, but that can only do so much. Anyway, like I said before, to go back to the video, to circle back, to wrap it all up, the fact that he's attacked constantly, even from some folks in his own party, it tells me that we have the right individual. It tells me that we're on the right track. It's just my humble opinion about it. Let me know what's yours. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.